Fussy Fox face. And Mary. Alright, ears and eyes. So fun. Are we having fun?
I'm having fun.
All these... Never mind. Okay, the ears, there's so many different ways you can do this. But they're complicated. They're black on the back. They're foxy colored on the front, and then they have poofs. They have blonde poofs. So I usually take my core wool and try to pull an even square from it. Little kind of 1-inch square. If you want to use the Zuli tool to establish your triangle, so set it down in the middle and then just draw your angle off the angle of the Zuli tool, then you'll know that you're getting two triangles the same size. I don't follow the tool once it turns the corner. I keep the triangle going off to the side. So I've done it different ways. Like sometimes I put the black on the back while I'm creating it. But no matter what you do, it pokes through. So it's just it's going to get a little bit polluted from one side to the other. I'm going to flip these over and put my black on the back. Just kind of try to follow that triangle shape. Now, the black's going to punch through, like I said, so now I can go back and with the punch tool come this way a little bit. And then I look at my ears and I try to decide which ones goes which way. So I feel like they sometimes have a little bit of a... They're basically a triangle, but they might have a little bit of like an outwards curve and then flatter on the outside. So these are going to be the outsides and these are going to be the inside. And on the inside, I want to put a nice, good sized little poof. So I'm going to mix the light Polworth and the white top coat to make kind of like a blonde, a sandy blonde. And I'm going to cut this in half because it's really long. Alright, and then I'm going to take a little bit of each one and do a rooted kind of fur technique along the inside rim of the ear here. So I'm going to set the center right over the rim of the ear, use a little bit of off-white core as a staple. And then let this be poofy. It's the same way we do eyelashes, fur. And then on the outside, I'm going to put a little off-white core just to kind of make this little white line. I'm not going to have it stick off. I'm just going to create this coloring. Then if I want to create it, make it look like it's got more depth in the center, I can put a little black in there, just kind of like it's the deep part of the ear. And then I'm going to trim this. Is a little crazy. I don't save my cut up wool. I save almost all my other little bits and pieces. Okay, repeat on the other side. All right, I've got 2 ears and a fox that needs them. Worked out well. So they're gonna get set right at the back of the head here, and I usually tack the inside of the ear first and then try to kind of give it a little bit of a pucker and tack the outside of the ear. So if you were to draw a line from the center of the nose through the eye, you want that to intersect the center of the ear. So I'm just going to tack this corner on. Don't want it, definitely don't want it in the center of the head. You need a little bit of space between the ears. And then I'm going to tack this outside edge on. And if there's some extra ear hanging down, that's okay. It's going to get covered with
Pelt?
Yes, thank you. Top coat.
See, I look
felt.
like I'm not paying attention, but I am.
I'm like a little help here. Floundering. Okay. Give it a little pucker. Stab that corner in. I look at it from the front, try to see if I've got things lined up. It's always hard. It's always a little wonky. And then you can kind of tease some of this fluff up. Got a little bit of fluff kind of in front of their ears. All right, so on the back here, might take some and kind of do an upside down shingle here so that some of this fluff is coming up. Kind of seems counterintuitive, like it should be going the other way, but I think this is going to help.
Well, if they're furry furry
Yeah,
all around.
yeah. Okay, and then we can go across the back of the neck a little bit. You could shingle down. I think I'm just going to go across. Just lay it across like this. All right, let's make a pelt. I need to stop fussing with this face for a few minutes. We'll make a pelt and then we'll come back for the eyes. She says as she
Continues
sees
fussing.
more places to stab. All right, pelt. So the pelt we're going to build on the stabbit, and it's going to be about the size of your hand. Not quite as long. It needs to go from the base of the neck to the butt. So I'm going to use I'm going to put a little bit of core wool just to give it
Little oomph.
a little oomph. Real thin, like I'm really stretching it out. So it's about 3 inches wide, about 4 or 5 inches tall, and maybe a little narrower at the front than at the back. Okay, and if I want to, I can, I can't use any more gold because I keep doing that, and I'm gonna need it for my eyes. So I'm gonna put the fox color across. And then in their butt area, they get a little grayed out. So I'm using a little natural black, a little bit of the Polworth, and then I think I'm actually going to mix in a little bit of the fox color. So I'm just pulling and restacking until it's blended together. You could use hand carders if you have them. Okay, and then I'm going to lay that over the butt area. And give this a little stab just to bring it all together a little bit. Oh, look, I have a little bit of this lighter left over. I'm going to put that on the shoulders. This was left over from my face.
Definitely want a punch tool for this job.
It is. It works really well, and it doesn't lock it into your felting surface too much. Just kind of pulls it together without denting it or over felting it. But then, once it's time to put it on the fox, you want to return to your pen tool. So to get it started, I'm just going to stretch them out, get it centered. Start on the back, just getting it all locked on and centered. And kind of create a little shoulder blade by stabbing the pelt down in the center and giving it a little poof on the sides. And then once I've got it secured, I can take it to the side. Let this travel down the leg a little bit. Just nice, it kind of gets rid of that horizontal wrapped look. Let this travel down the leg. And then I need to decide how fringy I want to let this be. I can trim it. I can just kind of felt it into place. Usually I just felt it into place.
Makes them look furry.
Yeah.
So I was busy posting a picture on Facebook
Okay.
during your ear time,
Uh-huh.
but foxes have super good hearing.
Okay.
And I don't know how they know this, but a red fox can hear a watch ticking 40 yards away.
How do they know that? It's incredible. I mean, if you think about it, you've seen the footage of them catching things that are down in the snow, so they can
They must
hear
hear
that. Yeah, they can
I mean,
hear
they
it,
have big ears.
and then they pounce. Okay, now I can decide how neat or tight I want all of this to be. You know, do I want them to be fuzzy? Do I want them to be more sculpted? I think I'm going to trim it just a little bit. I got some crazy poofs going on here. It's just going to help me decide what goes where. And then if I don't want it to look so trimmed, then I go back in and stab a little bit. I like to try to leave this little area in between the leg and belly, like that kind of flap of skin. That's what's cool about making a pelt, is it makes that for you. Alright, this could use some more stabbing, but I'm going to move on. We're almost there, look.
It's impressive. Really almost there.
Really almost there. Okay, because this is my least favorite part, so I put it off.
What's that, the eyes?
The eyes.
Because you do it wrong and they look crazy.
You do it wrong and they look crazy. So it's, and I have not, it's a little bit of a, Like I haven't figured out a way to make sure, you know, that I do it exactly right every time. Because it's so tiny, that's why. So, what I've been doing is taking a little bit of gold, wrapping. You grab me a skewer, please.
Oh. I was gonna say a fresh.
A toothpick gets a little tight. A skewer gives you just about the right size of iris. And then this is where it gets a little iffy. Like, do you stab it on flat? Do you let it make a little half moon circle? I'm going to try and stab it straight on. In other words, as if the skewer, if that were the skewer, like sticking straight off. And then you try to make it round. Sorry, is my head in the way?
No.
Okay.
If you move up a tiny bit, you'll be right in it. I'm very zoomed.
Okay. I'm using kind of a strong needle right now because I'm really trying to get it locked on there. Okay. And the other thing that makes them look a little crazy is you don't usually see all of the fox's iris. You know, they'll have a little lid hanging over. So that's something you can do afterwards and try and...
My information says their pupils are vertical like a cat.
Oh, good to know.
I mean, on this size, it might not.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Again, the cat dog.
Then I put the pupil in back on top with black. So really, they're vertical?
That's what my information says.
I don't know.
Do I need to look at that more too?
All right, I made it a little bit vertical. I don't know. I think I want to look one up and see, because I've always, when I've painted them and stuff, I always thought they were round.
I'm not saying my Google research is right. I'm just saying.
Well, it doesn't look wrong.
He looks a little ticked off.
Alright, so now I've got the 40 gauge and I am just refining I can see if I can get that brow to come over a little bit. And then it needs a tiny white dot. So you definitely want the Serafina white for that. It's so tiny. It's like little strands. Little single strands.
Okay, wolves and foxes are closely related and share many of the same characteristics, but look at their eyes. Where wolves have rounded pupils like humans, foxes instead have a thin vertical line.
Wow. I'm going to have to really look into that. I feel like I've always painted.
I'm seeing this in many places.
All right. Do a Google Images for me.
I will do that.
Fox face. Alright, see now this white dot might have gotten a little too big, and as soon as your white dot gets too big, it just looks weird. But maybe not. Oh yeah. Oh, that's frustrating. Huh. That's weird. Maybe, I don't know, I still see round. Maybe slightly.
Round in the center with...
Yeah, maybe like kind of like a vertical, okay. Weird. Okay, now I gotta put more black back in on that. Floundering here. Hopefully people are just there at home felting, not minding me. Trying to get a little bit of black back in where I put too much white. Alright, calling it. Where do you think I put my whiskers?
Oh, those whiskers. You put them in the pile of stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot of fluff left over from Fox 1, which is good. And I still have my whole pile of Fox 2. Here's the whiskers. All right. So, will you please?
What do you need?
Power pole.
Oh, yes.
So your horsehair, you need a needle, sewing needle. And you're going to go, let me do the nose first because I feel like it's going to be an easier direction. All right, so if I want to swax my little nose, first I felt the heck out of it and make sure that it's the shape that I want it to be. So I'm kind of going for that point like this. So I'll put it down like this, stab it this way, stab it this way. Okay, and then I've got some swax tinted with black and my little color shaper. And I'm just gonna grab some of that and dab it on. If your swax, if you don't have black pigment, it'll be fine. The black wool will show through. And then I'm gonna put it on the top.
I saw on Fanfare somebody use soot from their fireplace.
There you go.
They said it worked great.
Okay, and then I'm gonna wait about 4 seconds. And then I'm gonna use my fingers to press it in and shape it and really get that little point. And then I can do a second coat, which will shine it up a good bit. First coat kind of sinks into the wool. Second coat gives you something that you can buff. So I'm gonna wait a few seconds and then press it in.
I wonder when the soot dries if it actually stays in or rubs off.
It should be stuck in there. I think it would become one with it. Be stuck in there. Okay, so I like to put about 5 whiskers. So I'm going to go at an angle so that they have, they're not all coming straight. They're kind of, and I leave the length of whisker on the opposite side and then cut the length on this side. So now I want to go at this angle. And then I'll put one a little bit farther forward, kind of straight. You're going to have plenty of whiskers in your kit. And then I'll put one a little farther back, straight.
It's definitely hard to see those whiskers on
camera. And I'll put one more up here. Oops, so you might need more than one, depending on how long your horsehair pieces are. You might not get all your whiskers out of one. So now, to keep them there, I used to use super glue, which works, but it leaves a real crusty little blob. So I'm going to use Paverpole, which is also a glue, but it will sink into the wool a little bit more and not leave that clear colored blob. And it'll dry clear. It goes on white and dries clear. So just try to touch it down at the base of each whisker.
Otherwise the whiskers do fall out.
Yeah, they'll pull out. So that's it.
Wait, I had something about whiskers.
Oh, do tell.
They have whiskers on their legs and their face, which helps them navigate. Apparently there's leg whiskers.
Huh. Very cool. wonder how many foxes I've made.
Probably dozens.
Oh my gosh.
100?
At least, I think probably about 100.
That's a lot of foxes.
Yes, I've made a lot of foxes and a lot of basket bunnies. They're probably my two most made critters.
You'd think you would have figured out the eyes by now.
I know. So true.
That was a little smart mouth. Sorry. Feeling spunky today.
Weisenheimer. So that was really fun, and we look forward to seeing your projects. You can join our Facebook group called Serafina Felting Fanfare, and there's a lot of members, a lot of support and help and inspiration, all in one little happy Facebook group.
Yeah.
Also, what else do we? Oh, supplies. SerafinaFiberArt.com for everything that you need for felting. And what else do we need to tell them?
Get felting, people.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.